Joker, what are you doing?
I can't have Lex be the only supervillain, Mom. I'm making our baby.
Joker, you madman. You know I'm not ready for children yet.
That excuse won't work on me anymore, mister. I know there's more than one Robin.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to take the edginess of the Batman and the Joker and create our love child, the ultimate edgelord.
Joker, no!
Ugh.
I think we should get an abortion.
How do you combine two of the edgiest characters in comics and somehow become 10 times edgier? The secret ingredient is in the BDSM gear. It works for all the greats. I'm just busting your balls here, Scott. The Batman Who Laughs is a character that I originally enjoyed simply based on the design. I mean, the fit is tough. Even though it looks like something Marilyn Manson would feel subconscious about wearing, it does make sense that a Joker/Batman hybrid would be into bondage. However, as you look past the design and all of the edge, the character underneath feels a little shallow, undercooked. The Batman Who Laughs suffers all the plot armor with Batman and Joker, but takes none of the heart from Batman, no funny jokes, pranks, or general silliness from Joker. And worst of all, he takes the incredibly meaningless and tiresome ultraviolence from them both. He is a character who was designed for an event book that truly made him appear far more interesting than he would in any other story, and the following appearances after the event prove it. I want to go over his origin, why he was made as a character, and how he sometimes works, but most of the time doesn't. Then I want to compare him to other Batman variants and see what they do better or worse. I'll be spoiling some of Dark Knight's metal and Death Metal and some of his other appearances, but I won't go through entire issues, just taking bits and pieces here to illustrate my point. I won't go through all the complaints we all have, as some of them have been beaten to death. Just things that I personally find interesting. But before we can get to that, let's talk a bit about who this variant is and what his origin entails. Let's begin with the humble origins of the Batman Who Laughs, because later on the wanking will ramp up non-stop. We meet this character as one of the minions of Barbados, remember that for later. And at first I'm like, okay, these designs are pretty cool. I love how Dark Knight's metal really embraces the edgelord vibe it brings. I think Scott Snyder knew from the start he just wants a fun event book with some really creepy designs and a classic comic book I'm gonna destroy the whole world plots. It's been done before, but I think Snyder had a lot of fun with it. Now, when we learn about his origin, it piques your interest a bit. I didn't really think we needed an origin, when it's simply Batman with the Joker's personality, but hey, I'll take it. We learn this man started out as our classic Bruce Wayne, becoming Batman, fighting Joker, you get it. Until one day the Joker takes it too far. Then Batman takes it too far and snaps Joker's neck. Batman seems normal now, and Supes watches the infected children, checking up on his friend. I really like how trusting Superman is here. He just needs Batman to say he will become a monster, and then he takes it as fact. We then cut to Batgirl and Nightwing training in the Batcave. It's getting way too intense, way too fast. And Nightwing pushes Batman to just talk to them instead of stalling. Batman tells his kids about the poison Joker infected him with and how it's rewiring his brain slowly, and how it'll turn his moral code into something more evil and nihilistic. Joker's last wish, that whoever killed him would become him. Nightwing realizes that the training exercises were to fight off Batman, but of course they won't fight him, they want to help him. I mean, the people in this room have to be some of the smartest in the world. While they wait for Ted Kord or Mr. Terrific to create a cure, they can hold Batman in the Phantom Zone. Batman, of course, says no. The kids keep pushing, telling him they'll help out more in Gotham, take shifts, etc, etc. Batman is like, you guys do not understand. I called you here because you'd be the first ones to realize something is wrong. I can't allow that. Then, in the most insane page there is, Batman quickly puts on some Joker makeup and pulls two Uzis from out of his ass and just kills the entire Bat family. Mind you, this is the same Bat family that was just training to beat Batman, one of the greatest martial artists, strategists, you get it. They dodge machine guns every single night fighting these lunatics, and yet one lunatic with a gun is enough to kill them. I just guess our Batman's bullets are better? I don't know. Not to mention the fact that all of them have bulletproof plating on them, defenses. This is where the plot armor begins to become very apparent. You can't have the Bat family get no diff like this and put zero effort into explaining how. I mean, wouldn't it be better if you just poisoned them, used that trust and love, and perverted it like the Joker would? Guns? Like seriously? It has to be the lamest way to kill off the Bat family. After that shit show, we cut to a week later where, of course, Batman takes out the entire Justice League, no problem. We can see Martian Manhunter splattered across the windows, Hawkman is suffocating in space, Plastic Man showing across the room, with the Flash tied up in his stretchy matter. The most disrespectful one here is Wonder Woman. I mean, you'll see the explanation of how Supes gets done in, but Wonder Woman gets nothing. There's a line here where Batman says, "Do you realize how many ways I know how to kill you?" I don't get how Superman can be this all-powerful superhero, and Batman knows a million ways to kill him, yet Batman, the human, has no problem fighting off the entire Justice League. Not a single one of them knows a single way to kill Batman. The trope of Batman turning on the League and wiping the floor with them is so incredibly obnoxious and overdone, I am sick of seeing it. But I digress. So Batman uses all the weapons the League had in storage to take them out, including some black kryptonite, which makes Superman turn on his family, killing them. Now the question I have is, what does the Batman Who Laughs do differently as a character? This issue tries telling you it's that he's this methodical and mastermind kind of character who can solve any problem, he can adapt, okay? That's just Batman. Well, no, he's nihilistic and evil and edgy. Okay, that's Joker. Well, no, he's both of them put together. Yeah, that's still Joker. Especially when we're talking about Scott Snyder's Joker, yeah, it's definitely him. If you look at my video, Joker's plot armor is even worse. I go over how Snyder writes a super grimdark Joker with all the edge, not a lot of playfulness, no pranks, no jokes, or any thrill-seeking behavior. And we know as Batman gets more and more powerful with each writer jerking him off, his main nemesis, his number one op, has to step up as well. I talk about Joker's 5-way revenge, and that guy was playing with a completely different set of cards than the current Joker is. So when you tell me that the Batman Who Laughs is Batman with Joker's personality, I am telling you that it is 99% similar to our modern Joker. Think about it, if you replace the Batman Who Laughs with Joker in any situation, it can make complete sense how Joker could think of something like that, or is skilled enough to accomplish something, or even is cosmically important like we'll see later. I mean, Joker has been jerked off that way for a while. In Snyder's run, he almost single-handedly defeats the Justice League. A clown with no powers takes full control of Superman, so this alternate version of Batman doing the exact same thing feels the exact same. Ultimately, the Batman Who Laughs reduces Joker down to a character that has the opposite of a no-kill rule, almost compelled to kill. It takes very few traits outside of the homicidal nature of Joker, takes no pranks, no silliness, just a visual reminder, the aesthetic of Joker, with the face paint and lipstick, and then it does something very redundant, adding Batman's methodical intelligence that our modern Joker is already shown to have. So this idea of the Batman Who Laughs being this wholly new thing is stupid. Now I will cut back a bit on the criticism here, because people have mentioned that Snyder is aware of the edgelord vibe that this variant brings, and he leans into it. I agree. He had fun with it in the event book. I mean, all of his Robins can only say the word crow, and then he commands them by saying bar. Get it? Crowbar like Jason Todd and Joker? It's actually pretty funny. But this video wouldn't exist if he simply died there. No, we get a lot more. So back to the comic, we move on to then how Batman kills his world in the edgiest way possible, creating his ever-growing gang of Joker-fied Robins along the way. Barbados picks him out along with some other variants, who I honestly would love to go over as well. Some of their origins are way more fun, but the event books happen and our heroes win the day. You would think after all of that, the Batman who tries too hard would just go away for good. But no, you are mistaken. Let's talk about his self-titled comic and all the insane things that happened there. In the Batman Who Laughs comic, we are treated to a story surrounding the remnants of the event books. It opens on Batman who stops a car chase and finds the car to be an older version of himself, a happier version of himself who is dead. Batman figures out immediately who this new foe could be. We cut to the Batman who shoots, lighting up Arkham just to get at one inmate, the Joker. Joker is confused, asking if Batman is here to kill him, but no, not that one at least. The Batman who giggles is though. But Joker tries to bargain with him, but it's over. His head gets caved in. We find out on the next page that the man who was killed was actually a decoy. Batman explains the origin of the Batman Who Laughs to Gordon and gives this corny line of, "He's the living embodiment of the idea. Batman always wins." Lame. So then the mystery begins. But we all know exactly how these stories always go. Like I said earlier, this guy is just the Joker in bondage gear. And if you guys know Joker stories, you know that almost every single Joker story there is has him trying to break Batman and make him more nihilistic, sadistic. He wants him to cross that line to become like the Joker. Which is funny, because what happens right after this is the Joker teams up with Batman so he can stay alive. But then he immediately kills himself, as apparently the only way Batman can beat this variant is to become exactly like him. Which, the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. So then Batman just takes every Joker toxin antidote he has, and it maybe buys him a week. We fast forward a bit, and the first real fight happens between Batman and his Dark Mirror. Low-key, this fight makes the Batman Who Laughs feel incredibly human. Like, how did this guy beat the Bat family when our Batman is beating him with a fighting style called Bam Pow? We then get introduced to the Grim Knight, who shoots our Batman with a sniper. They even have this line here: the Grim Knight, even his bullets shoot bullets. What a perfect synopsis of his brand of edgelord, just a gun-toting Batman who kills instead of the bondage Joker-fied Batman who kills. So what does every Joker story always do? A big bomb that kills a lot of people. Predictable. I do like how he shit talks Bruce here, saying, "You're the most miserable, the least accomplished."
My car faster, my drip better, my clothes fit better, my hoes better, my tattoos better, I'm stronger than you, my bitch thicker than yours, my gun's bigger than yours, nigga, my gun's bigger than yours.
You're the nightmare Batman, the bad joke. Remember this because it'll be important for later. Then we get the reveal that James Gordon Jr. is important for some reason. Honestly, I never read any comics with him in it, so forgive me if I am dismissing a character that you love. However, Jr. is the linchpin in the plan to poison Gotham's water supply, and Batman needs to figure out what that plan is before he does it. FPS Batman comes in and they fight. They have a funny scene here. Nice shot, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. And the Batman Who Shoots takes Gordon for the blow up the city plots. The Batman Who Laughs pulls up on my boy Cobblepot, and Oswald calls him the Bat Gimp, which is his new name from now on. We fast forward a bit, and Batman puts on the BDSM hat to see what the Bat Gimp sees. Joker and Batman have a talk, and Joker tells him that he never wants either of them to win permanently. He wants the games to go on forever, and if Batman turns into Bat Gimp, Joker is blowing his head smooth off. They have a good laugh about it, and honestly, yeah, that's pretty funny. You're telling me the Bat Gimp destroyed his entire world and more, yet somehow he's vulnerable to a weaker, less skilled, and ultimately stupider version of himself. Sure, I'm skipping around mainly because this comic is just jerking off the Bat Gimp more and more. Like, for no real reason, we have a few pages dedicated to proving how effortlessly Bat Gimp takes down the Court of Owls in exchange for another Batman variant. The entire comic is just a watered down version of the event book, where instead of this massive cosmic evil, it's a simple reality warping device that only works in Gotham. We get to the final showdown between Bat Gimp and our Batman, and honestly, for an interdimensional Batman variant that defeated the Justice League multiple times over, he's pretty weak. I mean, Alfred is able to nearly kill him, as he states here. Then Batman shoots these harpoons at him and shocks him and starts to beat the dog shit out of him, almost killing him. But Joker saves Batman from crossing that line, yada yada yada, you get it. Story is over. Few things of note here. Before I forget, they have the B-plot of Gordon and his son beating the shit out of the Batman Who Shoots, and to me, that is insane. I get the kid is a genius, but he's a genius about waterways, not fighting. Are you telling me the Batman variant who's been in an eternal war gets done in by these two goobers? Alright. Secondly, let us remember that Bat Gimp does all of this shit talking up to our Batman on how he's the worst, the least accomplished, yet he sloppily gets beaten by a couple of harpoons and Martha Wayne's gravestone. At this point, I'm cool with never seeing this character again, but that is not how things go. We get a nice epilogue. Bat Gimp is trapped in some sci-fi dungeon. Jim Gordon and his son have a happy ending, however the Bat Gimp is not done here. We fast forward a bit to the Dark Knight's death metal events, and we have an insane power-up for the Bat Gimp. He was already powered by Barbados, able to traverse the alternate Gothams and defeat countless Batman, and on top of that, he's defeated every single member of the Justice League. So what happens when you put that guy's brain into the body of Dr. Manhattan? You get Bat Gimp 2, Electric Boogaloo. As soon as he comes online, he does the tired Joker cliche of killing all of his allies just to show how crazy he is. I really feel bad for this Bat T-Rex guy, he looks sick as hell. Now you might be thinking, damn, this guy is everywhere, and I get that he's part of the story, but surely he can't be that important. Wrong. Not only is this dude basically the main attraction, but he's able to convince Perpetua, the mother of the Monitor, Anti-Monitor, and World Forger. She is the first creator of the multiverse. Somehow he's able to get her to trust him, and what happens later is even more embarrassing. Now if you guys know Perpetua, you know she is a huge nothing burger of a villain. She has less narrative weight than Darkseid, despite being this insane cosmic being. I mean, she has less swag than any of her kids. She is a baddie though. So we see Batgimp turn into an even more edgy version of himself called the Darkest Night, which is kind of a step down for me. I enjoyed the ghostly blue Batgimp costume. After a bunch of BS with the Flashes struggling to outrun this goober, they have the most obnoxious explanation for how they lose to Batgimp. He says he rigged the Mobius chair to give him all of the power to remake the multiverse. Now I wouldn't blame you if you were a bit confused here. How the hell does this guy know how to program Nougat tech? More importantly, how is it that he's the servant of the person who created the multiverse, yet now he has the power to reshape it, and for some reason she doesn't have any problem with it? We'll get to that. Batgimp flies up to fight Perpetua, and for this all-powerful cosmic being, she sure is stupid. She straight up tells him that she knows he's a trickster, yet she gets tricked. They're all watching from the ground as she gets her ass whooped, and they don't even entertain the idea that Mr. Plot Armor will lose for a second. Of course, they're right. After Perpetua tries to reason with Batgimp, warning him that the other hands will come for a multiverse and destroy it, she then gets defeated. After that, the exact same thing happens to Batgimp. Wonder Woman comes up there in her golden god little outfit and tries to fight him. He tries to convince her by saying, hey, the other guys are going to come down here and destroy us if you fight me. If you join together, I'll make a universe in your image. Of course, she says no, and then he gets defeated by being pushed into the sun. I'm not quite sure what the Batman Who Laughs really wanted here. I mean, he seems content with following someone in the first event book simply because he gets to do the only thing he's capable of doing, which is destruction. Perpetua gives him that as well, and for whatever reason, he fights her. Not sure why. He's a pretty unremarkable character with no real motivation or personality, much like Perpetua, and as a writing decision of swapping the two, it's pretty redundant. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I am not too fond of this guy. When he was a simple side character, he was cool and a silly idea of what the edgiest Batman could be. Then people liked his design too much, and he was shoved in books he really had no business being in. Much like the Joker or even Batman taking the focal point away from characters who desperately need development like Perpetua. I mean, they really could have spent more time with her since she's supposed to be this cosmic big bad. But no, we just get more Batwink. Now I want to remind you guys, this is the same guy that got defeated by a harpoon, yet is also the same person who's able to defeat his entire Justice League. The Batman Who Laughs is an overpowered, underbaked, and overexposed character. Thankfully we don't see much of him these days, but if I walk away from the comic hoping and praying to never see him again, perhaps there was a mistake made there. Batgimp does nothing different in a narrative sense when you compare him to Joker. Let's talk about some more interesting Batman variants. Now when we talk about Batman variants, there is one that I believe stands above the rest, a fan favorite, Dark Mirror, who truly felt like Batman with a few careful changes made, that being Owlman. Owlman answers the question of what would happen to a Batman who traded in his hope and instead just got nihilistic. He is the evil Batman trope done right. Owlman, when faced with the truth of the multiverse, realizes that everything he does is completely meaningless. He is a blip in the grand scheme of things, so when he tries to end it all, it makes complete sense. He is terrified of being irrelevant and unremarkable, and as he puts it, he is making the only choice that matters. Why is it that people enjoy and seek out Owlman, but not the Batman Who Jonkles? It's simple. Owlman has a consistent worldview, and all of his actions line up with it. It makes his methods, goals, and actions all paint a picture of a man fueled by nihilism and paranoia. When you see him confront our Batman, the Dark Mirror is not just an aesthetic change or personality transplant. No, it is a fundamental difference in the ideology. When we look at the Batman Who Laughs, there is not much new there. He basically has the exact same philosophy and personality as the Joker, but the main difference is he could turn up the plot armor since he is technically Batman as well. His change is purely aesthetic and shallow. The people I've been able to find who actually enjoy his character enjoy it as a meta commentary on all the worst qualities of Batman and Joker that DC editorial is pushing. If you don't understand that, it makes the story worse. What makes it all the more insulting is how hard they drill in the fact that Batgimp is supposed to be the ultimate dark reflection of Batman. In the tie-in comic, Owlman gets really pissed about this even. Now let's move on to one of my favorite episodes in Justice League, A Better World Part 1 and 2. Like all multiverse stories, it starts with the premise of what would happen in another world where one small thing changed it all. While most multiverse stories are shallow and focus on aesthetic, more style over substance, this episode answers a great political question that people have been wondering for a while. Would you sacrifice your freedom for your safety? In the alternate universe, Superman makes that one small choice of killing President Luthor, and it snowballs into a new world order run by the League. The idea is that the people of Earth don't know what's good for them. I mean, you guys elected Lex Luthor to be president, the most obvious sleazeball there is. I mean, how dumb can you be? When this episode aired, I imagine people thought it was a bit unrealistic, but boy were they wrong. Hawkgirl, please save us. So with the Justice Lord's Batman, it posits these philosophical questions, and as the episode goes on, it pokes holes in their ideology. We see the two Batmen arguing and debating whether or not it's better to respect the people's autonomy if that means that some of them are going to die. What is so refreshing is that instead of it being some brawl between the two of them, they simply take a drive. The evil Batman talks about creating a world where an 8-year-old boy won't lose his parents to some punk with a gun. But what does that world look like for everyone else? Their version of Gotham has no litter, no delinquents, not even jaywalkers. Simply put, in order for people to respect the big laws, they need to respect the little ones. Then our Batman stops at the red lights, and of course the evil Batman is confused, because whether or not he admits it, the laws don't apply to him. These Justice Lords won't come out and say it, but they believe that might makes right. After our Batman successfully convinces the other that this isn't right, we can see something you rarely get with these evil Batmen, and that's change. He is a fluid character, created in a world with the smallest change that spiraled out of control. Instead of being this edgelord like Injustice Superman, or the pointless nonsense that Batgimp brings, he answers the question of why Batman doesn't just take over the world, and that is because it's simply wrong. Now, when it comes to dark reflections of our world, the one most people who don't read comics know about is Flashpoint. It's probably one of the best DC AMU movies, and it does such a good job of keeping characters somewhat similar to their counterparts, but accentuating one feature that throws the world into chaos. We have Aquaman and Wonder Woman being star-crossed lovers, Superman being a prisoner on this world, and more importantly, Bruce Wayne being dead. And instead, we have Thomas Wayne as Batman. What does that look like? Unfortunately, it is brutal. Instead of Batman being created as this hopeful ideal of justice and vengeance from the mind of an 8-year-old boy, we get a scummy Batman created from the broken mind of a grieving father with little hope left. Thomas Wayne creates Batman to put the bad guys down. Simple, it makes him feel good, and it's the only thing that numbs the pain from losing his son to gun violence and losing his wife to grief. What I dislike about a lot of edgy Batman variants is that they just give up on trying to tell a story about a human being. Flashpoint is all about that. While Thomas Wayne in the comics fluctuates quite a bit in terms of the quality and his use case in stories, in this movie he fulfills that reluctant hero like Joel from The Last of Us, and while we navigate the story with a Batman that is less skilled, more brutal, and has a harder time trusting, all of that comes to a wonderful conclusion that posits a sentimental question. What would Thomas Wayne think of his son now, the Batman? We get the beautiful moments where Bruce takes off his cowl to read the note that Flash had gotten for him, and yeah, it's beautiful. You don't always have to use the multiverse to create world-ending stakes, or answer deep philosophical questions, or make critiques on authoritarian governments. Sometimes you can use these variant characters to tell sentimental and human stories. The Batman Who Giggles does none of the above. He is a placeholder villain, with no real bite to him, no angle that makes him feel fresh, unique, or compelling. Nope, Mr. Batgimp is simply the Batman who tried too hard. He has the personality of an unfunny, pretentious Joker, the plot armor of Batman in every event book, and the bondage gear he stole from Catwoman. This is not an evil Batman variant, it is Joker cosplaying Batman. There is nothing left of Bruce in there outside of his skills or memory, and there is barely anything left of Joker outside of his obnoxious edgelord monologues and meaningless ultraviolence. Overall, this is a character that had his frenzy of appearances, but I think the hype has thankfully died down quite a bit. Now, Scott Snyder has moved on to better things with Absolute Batman canon, he is crushing it. What's even more insane is that his absolute Joker looks pretty cool. No, not the giant monster form, the businessman. I know this video is a little shorter, it's because I was on a time crunch, went on a short vacation and didn't get enough time to write a longer video. I'll try and get to an hour sometime soon. However, I will be making some shorter videos here and there, reviewing some comics. I really want to weave in storytelling and commentary and analysis, so if you guys are interested, tune in. Let me know what you guys think about Batgimp in the comments. If you like him or not, let me know. Alrighty y'all, peace.